those brochure things. I think we should sample and see what it's like. Should we come over with us? I think it's great. Seems to be enough light, I think. So I'm looking for that right kind of sort of family. It might be good.
Cell phone seems really contemporary for you.
Yeah, but you know what? It's gotten so. I've just been watching people on their cell phones and the blue light.
Texting and all that
Yeah, I
stuff.
just thought that. You know how people fall into their own little world when they.
Yeah.
I might not do this. I nicely shoot with a camera like this size, sort of.
Oh, wow.
Can't bring us anywhere. God, that's it. Turn the car out. No McDonald's on the way home.
I'm going to close down this street when we make that picture on Ken Street, so we're going to cause our own traffic jams.
Because you're going to be looking up this way.
Yeah. I'm sure there's great people doing this thing. It's just impossible, I think.
Yeah. I've heard you say before that you know immediately when you see someone whether they're going to be in a photograph or not.
Right.
What do you see or not see?
Right. I think that one thing I really do look for is something that's sort of exists beneath the surface, something that's repressed in a certain degree. So whether that means a kind of underlying sadness or some sense of desire or some sense of anxiety or fear. You're not really an actor, I'm not really a photographer. So. Okay, good.
Well, I mean, it was like,
Okay, look this way. And I like that there's some matzo balls sort of sitting there. Is that so weird?
That's really weird.
That is really strange.
Okay, now look this way. Great. Good.
Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks so much.
This guy is a good look.
He was great, actually. He was cool. He's a totally cool kid. Possibility. He's just too good looking for us. Possible. Now, him and his girlfriend, I think, would be great for one of the more intimate pictures.
Okay.
You know, particularly they said don't mind doing. And then he has a great look.
He has a great look.
Yeah. And he's also like, he could pass for like different, like he doesn't necessarily look like just an artist kid, you know, he has a really good like.
I think he can also look a lot of ages.
Yeah. So I like him, look at him there. A tree, that's nice, the two birds.
Is
Where's
that like
from?
the tree of life?
Paisley in here.
Paisley?
Yeah.
Is it the tree of life?
Not
a California tree.
Okay, so let's just do pictures with you, and then we'll do some with your kids as well.
Do you want glasses? No glasses?
We'll try. Yeah, I like glasses. Okay, see the hair. Okay, let's try with contact. How old?
How old are you, Toby?
That's right.
Yeah,
3 years old.
that's like my daughter.
So to me, like, this figure has to be almost, I almost want to drain the drama out of that person. Like I want it to be almost nothing, you know, and I need to feel the sense that that person could do that, you know, just a sort of empty him or herself.
So you're looking for that when you take the snapshots
Yeah.
in the beginning when you say no smile.
Right. I'm looking for that, and it's a hard thing to find because it's very elusive. Like an absence-presence thing is, I think, the best way to put it. You know, it's like something that's there but not there, you know.
You can, I cut my tank top and you can see my tattoos with it. Or,
I think he's gonna say those are too white,
too white.
but bring them.
Okay. This is just which I got the last week I was breastfeeding, and just it slides right off these days.
Oh, that, you know what, that's pretty cool.
So we're sort of like looking down into the backyard area. It's kind of an abandoned house. There's going to be a car parked in the driveway. It's going to be like, this is going to be like a little area where like a couple comes to, you know, have romantic encounters. There's going to be a boy who's sort of turned away from the camera, sort of sleeping still on the ground or reclining. And then in the car, in the passenger seat, there's going to be a girl, as if she just finished something and she has like her clothes in her hands and stuff. So it's like the relationship between the two of them.
Great.
Yeah.
I have a bunch of other little tattoos also. I have 5 little circles on my belly, which I got before these big ones. It was really random one day, just one of these 5 little circles. And since I got them, I had surgery a couple times, and they had to cut through the tattoo. And one doctor cut through it and then put the circle back together. And then one doctor, I didn't like him very much, he was really mean. He didn't put it back together, he put it like this. So like my whole torso is like shifted. And I was really angry about it for a while because it didn't feel right, I felt lopsided and weird. But now it's like, it's straightening out again, but the tattoo is still like this.
Is it just your skin, or it's actually like?
No, it's all of it. Like you can see, like I have, there's the tattoo.
Oh, I see.
So I have these little, you cut right into it, and now that it's evening out, I've had a couple kids since all of that. There's like a little paunch here and a little paunch here, but they should be like this.
We could go over in more detail on this one.
Yeah.
Justin, that's the, yeah, well, those guys are great.
Yeah.
And I was thinking also doing like a more intimate picture with them, of like maybe with their kids too somehow. Like there's a location that's there's a location behind, which we could visit sometime this week, behind the shopping mall, behind the Cinema Plaza. On the other side, there's like a little. If you go into, there's a wooded area, and then like so you're in the kind of woods, and then there's like in the distance there's a. It's like you see the behind the shopping center, so it's all like it feels like nature meets culture, kind of weird place. And
I'm sure that's a place where people must really hang out.
yeah, there's like debris and stuff
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
So, like, I think more than another, just like purely like sort of sexual encounters or something. But then when I was looking at these guys, it's like there is, as I was saying to Sarah, there's kind of nomad kind of feeling to them anyway. And
Yeah.
like I like this kind of nuclear family around sort of. So I thought we just like we can make it sort of like this is where they're sort of camping out, spending the night. She's going to be foregrounded, and we'll see her beautiful like tree, something like that in the tree.
Yeah.
And then I sort of imagine like one of the kids sort of kind of asleep in her underwear or something on like, on a tarp or something maybe, and then. And then maybe in the background, like you can actually see into the behind the shopping center. Maybe he's behind there, like sort of rummaging through some boxes or something. So it's like he's,
That's perfect.
providing,
Finding a smelly old blanket or something.
yeah. I think that's like pretty much it. I don't see it being better than that.
Yeah.
Still breastfeeding you? Like, didn't wear shoes for 5 years, and she has this beautiful tattoo of a tree on her chest, and there are birds on both sides, and it has all these scars from, she had Crohn's disease. So I'm sort of thinking like, this is going to be like they're nomadic, and they're camped out here a little bit.
Where do you find these people?
Through casting. And I think she'll be lying down with a child, and she had just been breastfeeding, and the child's asleep, and maybe another child they're on like a tarp or something, sleeping bag. And then the man, I think, is going to be sort of by that doorway. See the doorway?
Of the trailer?
Of whatever that thing is.
Yeah.
Sort of scabbarded in some boxes of food from the back of it.
In general, I think it's good I like to have a certain alienation from the person. Like I don't want to, there are exceptions, but like sort of ordinarily, I don't like to have that much contact with the person beforehand. I don't know if you notice that. Like I don't really spend much time with that person and have much conversation, or don't really talk about motivation with them. I just want to get them out and put them in a position, and then just remove myself from it in a way.
It's funny because I actually just interviewed Huckleberry the other day.
Oh.
Like after she was in the photograph,
Yeah.
I went to her house the next day and interviewed her about
Yeah.
her experience. And she remarked, like she was surprised that she didn't have a lot of contact with you.
Yeah.
And that you more or less positioned her physically, but there wasn't any talk about like what she would be thinking or
Right.
what the scene was emotionally doing.
Right.
It feels like he has a very clear vision of what he's looking for, and it doesn't feel natural. Like to stand in the position and just like foot pointed 1 inch closer to the left, and it's like this doesn't feel like a way I would ever stand. Looking down, looking forlorn, like shoulder back 1/2 inch, like just tiny tweaks because he has such a specific vision. And in a way, as a figure in his photograph, it's more like just expressing that. It's not about me or me standing there. It's about like being the figure for his image.
So I want to see the knees.
You want to see a little bit of me.
Great, much better. Much better. Okay.
Good.
Okay, position.
Position.
And hold.
Hold.
Okay, try putting the hands on the stomach.
Using our hands on the stomach.
So I want that slight sense of disconnection between me and the subject, because I think it's important to the picture in a way, you know. Also, quite honestly, it's like right before we're taking the picture, particularly when we're on location, I'm very nervous about all the other things that are going on. You know, the weather, the light, the frame, all the location. So it's very hard to me to have like a sort of a real conversation with anyone really. So and in that particular picture, the camera is like all the way across the tracks, and she's in this small little box, and we're talking by walkie-talkies, and so there is that necessary divide anyway. You know, I think it's a little different when we're on the sound stage, when we're dealing sort of much more directly with someone, you know. But even then, I don't like to spend much time, you know, having a real conversation with people.
Can I shoot it? Quickly. Perfect.
Great.
Position.
Position.
And hold. Okay.
Great.
Quarter of a second?
Yeah, quarter.
Most of our random.
That's great, isn't it? Position. Can you put her hair a little bit behind your ears?
Hair behind your ears.
She can do it herself. Okay, and like look down now. Position.
Position.
And hold. Good.
She's kind of moving.
Yeah. Power to watch movement.
We have to try to be very, very still. I think she's.
Can you call? We're doing 8. Just a few more, and then that's it. Just a few more.
There's a few more. Just when we say hold, just try to be still for
Okay,
about a
position.
second.
Ready? Position.
Position.
And hold.
Hold.
Good.
Very good. Very, very good.
Position.
Position. Oh, I'm sorry. Stand by. Stand by.
Position.
Position.
And hold.
Good.
Okay. How much film do we have left?
We have 15 sheets.
We only have 15 sheets left. So
16, sorry.
16. So let's do 4 more with her. Let's try them in half a second. Barbara, a little clockwise.
Barbara, can you move your body a little bit clockwise?
Too much.
Too much.
Okay, now just look. That's perfect. Good. Now look at her.
Look at her on this way.
Kill a bubble.
Is she too clockwise?
2 clockwise.
Come back a little bit counterclockwise. Just a little bit. Good.
Beautiful right
Is that
there.
good?
Yeah. Okay, let's get this correct.
Do you think you pick people that are reminiscent of people you've known or people you've been influenced by, like in books or movies?
Not consciously, but maybe in some way there needs to be something that feels familiar, you know, something that maybe it has something to do with like some kind of psychological connection to that person, you know. I also think that I'm looking for a certain kind of sadness or regret, or, but within that, like, something very kind of beautiful. You know, that's very important to me, like, both in terms of the narrative moment with the actors, but also in terms of the larger picture. It should feel kind of sad in one way, but like utterly beautiful in another way. I think, of course, a lot of that has to do with the lighting and the color, you know, which is so central to the enterprise, you know. And in a weird way, these pictures all build up to this single moment that is also somewhat about before and after too, because it's like, you know, typically they're photographed in twilight, and that's evocative of a kind of before and after moment. And it's like all this work goes into creating this very elusive moment that is like, again, in between moments. It's like between light and dark. And for all the kind of production value that goes into it, the picture, there's only minutes where the picture actually works, you know. I think that's what we're all after in terms of the whole crew. I know Rico for sure is like, we're all after that elusive moment where there's a sense of order. I think Rico, almost as much as me, I think, or maybe even more than me sometimes, is after that same thing. It's like that moment of refinement, like where everything seems to make sense, you know, for that, you know, for a minute or two. That, to experience that, for me, there is much more captivating than the final picture. You know, that's another kind of weird paradox. It's like, the final picture is like another process that's like months and months of post-production, but to me the real aesthetic moment is when you're there on location, absorbing that perfect moment when everything's absolutely still and the light is perfect. And so if I could capture that some other way than photography, I would. You know, like the camera's just some necessary thing that is. That's why I don't actually like taking the picture, because I see the camera as this necessary burden in a way. Like I much prefer if I could just have the experience, and that was it.
If you could bring everybody to the set instead of putting them in a gallery.
Yeah, just for that moment. Because photography will always disappoint. You will never get that. You'll never have that, like the power of that moment. It'll become something else, you know. It'll live on its own as that. But I don't think it could ever, like, for me, like live up to that. Just being out on the location, where everything just comes together.